All right, strap in. There's a lot to talk about. And we do have a CPI next week, so just be aware that Monday's trading is likely to be very lackluster, and then CPI comes out, and we'll have hopefully a lot of volatility for the start of next week on Tuesday, turnaround Tuesday. So probably a lot of kicking patterns on Tuesday that we'll want to know about. But going into the new week, SPY is just going to be at the highs, bright green on everything, still a 312 year over 47755, so that's still gunning. And we'll just have to see. You're going to run out of its signals minus that year, so just got to see if the buyers show up again. Go to Qs. That's still going as well from the 3-2 week last week. So nowhere near reversing that. If it goes 322 below 425, that would get my attention for sure, but you're just nowhere near doing it. And if we go to Dow Jones, you got a big old 3-1 day, could trigger the inside week and up. Again, with the CPI coming out Tuesday, likely be a little lackluster on Monday. So just be careful, and you'll have that CPI before the open. So if we go here, what I like to do before I start the week is go and take a look and just make sure I know what events we've got going, and you'll see Tuesday. So before the open, we're going to have some CPI numbers. That'll be important. Then Thursday, you get more numbers. Friday, you get more stuff. So a lot of news next week for volatility. That's good for us. And we can then also go to IWM. Big old 3-3 week. So above 199.55, could go 3-2 and keep gunning to take the month up. If it fails, 2 going 3, you go 3-3-3, because if they did it once, they might do it again. If they did it again, they might do it again. So we'll have to see. And how do you get in on that? A 2-2 on a Tuesday. So this is why we call it turnaround Tuesday. Monday, breaks lower. 2-2 here, rev strat, tells you you're going to take this out if it doesn't reverse, and it didn't. So it did that and kept gunning, finished your broadening formation. So next week, we'll see if that keeps going with a 3-2. And then we'll start with the Dow Jones. Since it's a 30 stock list, it'll be a lot simpler to keep track of. So the week stuff, you're going to only have a few names. You'll have CVX, shooter on the week here. Could take you 3-3 month. If they did it once, they might do it again. And you are 2 down in slightly green here. So continuity, just don't got much of it right now. But if that's in force, and that starts coming back in, changing that monthly continuity, that'd be something I'd want to know about. So let's try and potentially go here if that goes in force. And then also make sure you got that daily try drawn out like this, because if it breaks and fails, it might go back up here. If we go to WBA, also a little bit more weakness there. Big ol' 1-3 shooter rev strat weak, could take the month down, and it's bright red here at the lows here as well. So we'll see if they want to do that. Those are the only 2, and then Boeing. You'll have the 3-1-1 week, so could soft rev strat to the upside on Monday, take out some of these guys. And once you hit this, that's going to be your exhaustion risk. So be very careful, because you're still an inside month here. So if that doesn't get out of 217.59 and stay, then more than likely it'll take this out and rev strat back through. Maybe it goes 1-1-3 next week if things are bad with the CPI. If we go to Goldman Sachs, you'll have a 3-1 on the day with the 3-1 week. You are a big old doji on the month. So you can let that one break and just see what are they going to do. But if it breaks upwards, you'd reconfirm the year. If it breaks down, you'd try to rev strat the year. So we'll see. If we go to JPM, you're going to see similar. So inside day, inside week. And if you break up, you'll keep that year nice and green at all-time highs. If you break down, you might come back through this stuff here and make the lower lows to this. So either side of that will be important. If we go to Apple, we know that's an inside week, so we'll be looking at that either way. And it's still an inside year, 3-1, but if it can go inside week and up, you could get that year potentially a 2 up. You just got to get to that outside month and then keep going. If we go to Nike in the Dow Jones, you got an inside day here with the 3-3 week. So it could go 3-2, pivot machine gun towards 109.96. And then if that works, that's a big 3 on the week up there. So if it stays above 109.96, you could go back to 123.39. So we'll keep an eye on that. You got the outside month magnitude sitting up here as well at 107.85. So I'd like to see him take all this stuff out. Then we don't know. If we go to Visa, you're going to have the inside week along with the financials like JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs. Tells you also to look at MasterCard. So that's going to be also inside week at the highs. See if those want to start moving again. And then in the industrials in the Dow Jones, you'll have HON, a big old 3-1 on the week, coming off its monthly exhaustion risk. So if it goes back up, 3-1-2 reversal, could rip it back up into that high of the 3. We'll just have to see. And then In the financials, you also have TRV, big 3-1 week, hammer year in force. That's something I'd want to know about because you have a hammer year and then a second actionable signal there on the week. And if we go to IBM, this one's in the tech in the Dow Jones, potentially at RevStrats the week, but that's a big chop shop on the month. So just be careful with that one. And then the last one here is Intel, which will be part of the chips. So if that goes inside week and up, you could 1-3 the month, and you would get back into this big 3 on the week here, which tells you you're trying to take this out, which is reconfirmed by what you see on the month here. So we'll see. It's still an inside year, but it's a 1. So they like to whip around in the 1s, right? And then the next stuff we can start looking at is sector specific. So what you'll see here in the sectors is XLEs. They could, it says Randy up, but it could be a Momo shooter week down, which you're going to have PSX and XOM and CVX. So just keep an eye on those, but they're still inside months. So we're not going to really focus too much on those. In the communications, you do have an inside hammer, which tells you to be looking at Google and also like the Meta, and there's a few other communications, but those are the big 2. Financials, we have that inside week. So we already know there's a simultaneous break setting up there. And then materials, you have a potential 2-2-2 week back up, also a potential 1-3 month. So those are things we want to keep an eye on. The rest of this stuff is mostly 2s to the upside. So for the most part, that's what's happening in the market. And let us get into the sectors now. So in the XLF financials, we have a ton. So we're going to get through most of them. Here's Citigroup. You got inside week, still Mother Bar inside month. So not too interested, but we go to USB. That's a 3-2-2, could 1-3 the month with the inside day to get that moving. So that looks good. We can also go to JPM, which you already know about. We can also go to PNC, which is also a 3-1 week. Could go 3 on the month if it breaks higher. But either side of that inside week would get our attention. If we go to OZK, you'll see potential hammer week back up, could 1-3 the month if that gets moving. If we go to Zion, slightly stronger with the inside week, could 1-3 the month if that gets going. Hopefully you see the pattern here with the month. If we go to CMA, that could 1-3 month with the hammer week there if it gets going. And then you'll have 3-2-2s in SNV. 3-2-2 there, could 1-3 the month if that gets going. And then WAL could go 3 on the month if that 3-2-2 week hits its magnitude. So we have a lot of potential 3s in the financials, and that shows aggression. So that'd be something we'd want to know about, and that's just in the banks, just normal banks. We'll have also in the consumer finance, you got COF, inside day, inside week, still inside month, but it is a 2-2 year. And then Upstart with the small cappers moving, Upstart might want to start moving as well. Still Mother Bar on the month, but inside week there. So we'll see. There's also AFRM, which didn't really have the best earnings. And you can see that could go shooter week the other way. Already went outside month. So we'll see. In the diversified banks, we already have Citigroup. We already have CMA in the diversified banks. There's HDB, which looks like it's having some issues. So if anything's going to be weak, it'd be that. But I don't think there's any. Yeah, so there's not much else new stuff in here that we could be looking at. Besides maybe Wells Fargo. That might 3-2-2 with the RevStrat hammer day here. Still an inside month, though. And then financial services. FI, nice big old hammer. That's something I want to know about. Bright green year, 2 up month. Once it makes new all-time highs, we'll just have to see. And then we already looked at Visa and MA with the inside weeks, so we already got that covered. Then insurers, all the insurers we watch have signals. So Aflac, that's a big 3-1 with a lot of magnitude. I'd want to know about that. Also a double inside day to get that moving. AIG, that's a big 3-1 as well. Also an inside day. Also an inside day. Still an inside month, though. The thing we see here, though, is 3-2 year in force. And it's been a lot higher, so potentially they can recover if they got their act together. We'll see. And then MET. This is also nice 3-2-2 week setting up. 2 going 3 on the month, back up to here. This is one of the better looking ones in those insurers. Second to Aflac. And then in the regional banks, we have, like, look at this. I don't even want to go through them all. But you're going to see, look at all the 3-2-2s we have. So when you see this, what we do on Monday is we go like this. Instead of showing setups, we want to show signals. And if I open my signal list and I see a ton of 322s in force show up here, we're getting all the banks, because if that simultaneously breaks, we have every bank doing that, 322 back up. It should happen. So that's something we'll be definitely looking at into next week. And then, forgive me, give me a second here. In the tech stuff, you'll have Dell with the inside week hammer, bright green on everything else. You will have Apple, which you already talked about with Google. And then IT services, you'll have ACN, which is also going to be in the tech stuff. And that's a nice hammer week, and still going on the year with a lot of magnitude on the year left. So similar to all the chips we took last week with the years in force, this has its year in force. So that'd be good to know about. And we already know a lot of those are going good. So like Net, crazy earnings with the 2-2 year in force now. And MongoDB, that's one that we've had from the daily signal here. And we also had from the monthly signal here to trigger the yearly signal here. So that one's already going. And Snow is also taking the year up. So you're going to see like this, that's going back to 344. You got a lot of action going in there. So we can look at all those XLKs to keep going. And there's also going to be like, I think Shop, nice inside year reversal, 212. That's a 3-2 week hammer and big expansion with the inside day into Monday. So a lot of stuff in the technologies going still. And Okta could also be another one, but hasn't done much on the year. Still double inside month with the IWMs. So we'll keep an eye on that Okta with the IWMs and so trading together. And then in the semis, since we know those are also ripping, tells you to look at Intel, which we already talked about. And then the second one I would like is TXN with that inside week there. Try and get you back towards 175 if that can get moving. Could go 3 on the month. And then in the softwares, you have Adobe. So Adobe 2-2 hammer week, could get that one gunning again. Could get the 3-2 month in force again, which would be really good. Then still 2 up year in green. Then Team, another big old 322 you'd want to know about. So here's 322 on the week above that. Could negate the month, but it is bright red, so just be careful. But when you have this very aggressive move like this, and everyone gets short, it's like everyone gets short. So guess what? If that goes in force and everyone's short, now we're going back the other way and they have to get out. So we'll want to know about that. And then looks like the last one here would be like Unity, which you got some issues, but potential 2 going 3 on the month for the small account guys. Then inside week. So we'll see. The only thing is it's been a lot higher. You're just knowing you're taking out 50.08. So if we can hit the month magnitude, taking out this stuff, then looks a lot better. But we got to see if that week can get it going. And once it takes out this 35.5, we just got to see it stay above that, keep gunning through this stuff. So we also see in the Bitcoiners, Mara. Nice big 3 on the week. We'd like to see a 3-2 to get that inside month and up going again. And if you do that, you take the year up. If we go to CLSK, this one already took the year up and inside month in force. So that will be good to keep looking at. Tells you also to look at Riots. That's a nice bright green month, so they're buying. Nice big old 3 weeks. So a 3-2 continuation. Still trying to go and take these guys out. Tells you to look at Coin. Nice big old 3 week. Could go 3 on the month as well. Tells you to look at MSTR. So that's a big old 3. That's still trying to go up here, 727. And what we actually noticed here was actually like this. I noticed this on, I believe it was Thursday. You go on the 2 week chart, there's a nice 322. So it's definitely trying to go up there. Just needs to reconfirm next week. So that's going to cover most of the stuff on the weekly video. I know it's a lot, but we can let them open on Monday, see what they actually go in and buy, and then where the simultaneous breaks are occurring, that's where we can look to hop in with the 15, 30s, and 60s, and maybe some daily signals. So I'll see you guys in the update video at the end of the week, as well as we'll have a Turnaround Tuesday video, and we'll have on the 3rd day of the week the Strat Attack show. So that's going to be fun, and I'll see you guys then.